1,200 feet below the Arctic ice. That's 370 meters. Total darkness, freezing water. Something is moving. It's not fast, less than 1 mile per hour, just over 1 kilometer per hour. But it's been hunting here for 4 centuries. This is a Greenland shark, and it might be the oldest living vertebrate on Earth. 400 years old, longer than the United States has existed, longer than most trees, alive since before Shakespeare died. Growing to 24 feet long, over 7 meters, weighing 2,200 pounds, that's 1,000 kilograms. Moving like a ghost through icy depths. Living where temperatures hover at 29 degrees Fahrenheit, -2 Celsius. Cold enough to kill most fish instantly. And here's the thing, we barely know anything about them, because studying a creature that lives this slow, this deep, this cold, nearly impossible. Greenland sharks belong to the sleeper shark family, ancient predators that evolved over 200 million years ago. They inhabit the Arctic and North Atlantic. From the surface down to 7,200 feet, that's 2,200 meters below. Most sharks need to keep swimming to breathe, but not these. They can rest on the ocean floor for hours. Their body is built for extreme cold. Tissue saturated with chemicals that work like antifreeze, preventing ice crystals from forming. The water here is dense, heavy. Pressure increases with every meter down, but the shark's body is soft, flexible, gelatinous. No swim bladder, no rigid bones, just cartilage and muscle that compress and expand with the changing pressure. They're almost neutrally buoyant, drifting through the water column like they're weightless, barely expending energy. Compare this to a great white shark, fast, powerful, warm-blooded, burning through calories like a furnace. The great white lives maybe 70 years. The Greenland shark, 4 times longer, 5 times, maybe more. Scientists have found Greenland sharks with harpoon fragments embedded in their flesh, harpoons from the 1800s. That means these individual sharks were alive when whaling ships first came to the Arctic. And they're still here. Their eyes are pale, almost white, clouded over, because most of them are blind. A parasite attaches to their cornea, a small crustacean called Omatocoida elongata. It burrows in and stays there. The parasite dangles from the eye like a worm. Some scientists think it might even attract prey, a living lure. But the shark doesn't need vision, not down here. In total darkness, eyes are useless anyway. Instead, it relies on electroreception, detecting the electrical fields generated by living creatures, even a heartbeat. Ampullae of Lorenzini. Specialized pores covering its snout, so sensitive they can detect a billionth of a volt. It can sense a seal's heartbeat from 30 feet away, nearly 10 meters, even through murky, frozen water. The shark's skin is covered in tiny tooth-like scales, dermal denticles, rough as sandpaper, hydrodynamic. But here's what makes them different. Their flesh is toxic, filled with trimethylamine oxide, a chemical that helps them survive deep pressure. If you eat Greenland shark meat raw, you'll get violently ill, convulsions, vomiting, death. It's essentially poisonous. Indigenous peoples in Greenland learned to ferment the meat for months, breaking down the toxins, creating a delicacy called hakarl. But most predators won't touch them, not even orcas. The Greenland shark is chemically defended from the inside out. They're solitary, rarely seen in groups, ghosts that pass each other in the dark without acknowledgement. Females don't reach sexual maturity until they're 150 years old, a century and a half just to reproduce. Pregnancy lasts years, maybe a decade. No one knows for sure. We've never observed them mating. When pups are born, they're already 15 inches long, about 38 centimeters, fully formed, ready for the abyss. And then they grow, slowly, less than half an inch per year, about 1 centimeter, for centuries. Here's where it gets strange. How do you determine the age of a creature with no hard bones? Most fish have otoliths, ear stones that grow in layers like tree rings, but Greenland sharks don't have them. For decades, scientists had no way to age these animals. Estimates ranged wildly: 50 years? 200? Then, in 2016, researchers tried something different. They looked at the eye lens. The center of a shark's eye lens forms before birth, and it never changes. It's like a time capsule. They used radiocarbon dating, measuring carbon-14 isotopes from nuclear bomb tests in the 1950s. The results were shocking. One female was at least 392 years old, possibly older than 500. Born around 1620, before the Pilgrims landed at Plymouth Rock, before Galileo went on trial. That shark was swimming in the Arctic when Isaac Newton was inventing calculus, when the Taj Mahal was being built. It survived the Industrial Revolution, 2 world wars, the invention of the internet, still alive today. But here's the disturbing part. We don't know how many are left, or how vulnerable they are. Greenland sharks get caught as bycatch in fishing nets, tangled, drowned, discarded. They can't escape. Because they move so slowly, less than 1 mile per hour, under 2 kilometers per hour. A fishing net is a death trap. And they reproduce so slowly. A population can't recover from overfishing. 1 generation takes 150 years. Now let's talk about their metabolism. It's the slowest of any shark, of almost any vertebrate. Their heart beats about 6 times per minute. Compare that to a human, 60 to 100 beats. Blood circulates like cold syrup. Oxygen delivery is minimal, but somehow it's enough. Their muscles are packed with myoglobin, a protein that stores oxygen, allowing long periods without fresh supply. They can hold their breath for hours, waiting, conserving energy, existing in a state of near hibernation. This is life in extreme slow motion. Every process dialed down to the absolute minimum. Digestion takes weeks. A single meal might sustain them for a month, maybe longer. They eat almost anything: seals, fish, squid, carrion. Even polar bears have been found in their stomachs. Polar bears. Land predators weighing 1,500 pounds, over 680 kilograms, inside a shark. How? The leading theory? They scavenge drowned carcasses, bears that fell through ice and sank. But some researchers think they might hunt seals at breathing holes, waiting beneath the ice. Ambush predators. A seal surfaces for air. The shark strikes from below, slow but patient. And when it bites, it doesn't let go. Their teeth are different from other sharks. Small, curved, interlocking, designed for gripping, not cutting. Lower jaw teeth are pointed. Upper jaw teeth are curved back. They work like a trap. Once locked, there's no escape. The shark doesn't thrash. It just holds on and waits. The prey drowns, weakens, dies. Then it feeds, tearing off chunks with a rolling motion, like a crocodile's death roll, but slower, much slower. And here's the truly bizarre part. Some Greenland sharks have been found with reindeer in their stomachs. Reindeer, land mammals, how did they get there? Did the sharks hunt them while crossing rivers, or scavenge corpses? We don't know. Every answer about these sharks raises 10 new questions. Their liver is enormous, up to 20% of their body weight, filled with oil, squalene. This oil is lighter than water. It helps them maintain buoyancy, floating effortlessly without swimming. Whalers once hunted Greenland sharks for this liver oil, used it for lamps, machinery. Thousands were killed. But the oil is also toxic, the same trimethylamine oxide that makes their flesh poisonous. Now, let's examine their brain. Small, primitive, but perfectly adapted for this environment. They don't need complex problem solving, no social dynamics, no territory disputes, just hunt, survive, reproduce. But recent studies suggest they might be smarter than we thought. They've been observed following fishing boats. Learning that boats mean food. Bycatch thrown overboard, easy meals. Behavioral adaptation in real time. And they remember. Individual sharks return to the same boats, same fishing grounds, year after year. This is an animal that lives so long, it can learn patterns across human generations. A shark might associate a fishing spot with food for 200 years, longer than any human institution. Their sense of smell is extraordinary. They can detect blood from miles away, kilometers. Chemical receptors in their nostrils analyze water constantly, building a map of scents in the darkness. They can distinguish between seal blood, fish blood, whale blood, different prey, different hunting strategies. And they're patient. If food is scarce, they simply slow down even more. Metabolic rate drops further. Entering a state almost like suspended animation, burning minimal calories, waiting for the next meal. This is how they survive in one of Earth's harshest environments, by doing almost nothing. But let's go deeper into the longevity question. What allows them to live so long? Here's the revelation that changes everything. It's not just about slow metabolism, it's about cellular damage. All living things accumulate damage over time. DNA breaks down, proteins misfold, cells stop dividing properly. This is aging, and eventually it kills you. Cancer, organ failure, system collapse. But Greenland sharks seem to resist this. Their cells repair damage at an extraordinary rate. Recent genomic studies found something shocking. These sharks have enhanced DNA repair mechanisms. Specific genes that fix damaged chromosomes, preventing mutations, keeping cells young. They also have resistance to cancer. Despite living for centuries, tumors are almost never found. Compare this to humans. By age 80, nearly half have some form of cancer. The shark at 400? Clean. Scientists think it's related to their slow metabolism. Fewer cell divisions mean fewer chances for errors. But there's more. Their proteins are incredibly stable. They don't denature easily, even in freezing water. Special amino acid sequences, molecular chaperones, everything engineered for extreme longevity. This shark is essentially a living laboratory for anti-aging research, a blueprint for slowing down death. If we could understand their cellular repair systems, we might unlock secrets of human longevity. But here's the cost. To live this long, you must live this slowly. The shark takes 150 years to mature. Imagine waiting a century and a half just to reproduce. It moves like a sleepwalker, hunting in slow motion. No bursts of speed, no chases. It exists in near total darkness, blind, cold, alone, for 400 years. Is this survival? Or is it something else? A different way of experiencing time. To a Greenland shark, a human lifetime passes in a blink. We're mayflies, flickering and gone. But to us, the shark is eternal, a living fossil, a creature from another era, still swimming. They've witnessed centuries of Arctic change, ice ages, warming periods, the arrival of humans. And they've outlasted all of it, adapting, persisting, becoming a symbol of resilience. But that resilience is now being tested. The Arctic is warming faster than anywhere on Earth. Sea ice is disappearing. Prey patterns are shifting. The ecosystem is changing in real time. Scientists are racing to understand these sharks before it's too late. But it's incredibly difficult. They live too deep, too remote. Tracking them requires advanced technology, satellite tags, deep-sea cameras. Even then, the sharks sometimes dive beyond our equipment's limits, vanishing into the abyss. We still don't know where they mate, where they give birth, how many exist in the wild. Current estimates range from tens of thousands to just a few thousand. The uncertainty is enormous. What we do know is this: they're vulnerable. Long-lived species always are. They can't adapt quickly. Evolution operates on timescales of millennia for them, not decades. Climate change is happening too fast. Warming waters affect their metabolism, their prey, their habitat. And fishing pressure continues. Bycatch numbers are likely underreported. Many die unseen. But there's hope. Conservation efforts are increasing. Marine protected areas in the Arctic. Greenland has implemented quotas. Iceland monitors populations. International cooperation is growing. And the sharks themselves are teaching us. Their biology holds answers to fundamental questions. How do cells resist damage? How can organisms avoid cancer? What are the limits of lifespan? Research teams are sequencing their genome, studying their proteins, looking for transferable insights. The Greenland shark might help us understand aging, not just in sharks, but in all vertebrates, including humans. 400 years in darkness, moving like a ghost, surviving where nothing else can. The Greenland shark doesn't just live, it endures. A reminder that life finds a way, even in the coldest, darkest places. And maybe that's the real lesson. Survival isn't about speed, it's about patience, adaptation, time.